you can put a dog turd on a butter toasted bun, and it's still gonna taste
No,
good.
I don't think you can.
Welcome to Cue the Mic.
Welcome to Cue the Mic.
Way to hold it in there, Emma.
Why'd you have to call me out? I thought I was doing a good job.
I saw you holding your breath, concentrating. It's fine. We're live now. The suspense is over. Episode 21 is here.
21. Yeah. That's kind of crazy. I mean, we say that every week, though.
Yeah.
It's crazy we're getting this many in. Still in shock.
It's crazy, and we still have stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But we always want more. We always say that at the end. Maybe we should say that at the beginning.
Yeah. Maybe we're losing listeners. Actually, I don't know. I'm sure I could find that out.
So what do we say at the end? You always take the end, right? I'm always looking for content. Send us content.
Yep. And then like, subscribe, follow us, do all the things on all the platforms. Let us know how we're doing.
We're everywhere.
We are everywhere except Facebook, surprisingly.
We're not on Facebook?
No.
Why?
I don't know. I just never made us a Facebook for Cue the Mic. It just felt like a weird platform for us to be on for a podcast. But maybe that's what we're doing wrong.
Is this streamed on X, formerly Twitter, or no?
Not streamed on, no. I could, but
I've seen a lot of people doing that lately.
Yeah, it's kind of a newer thing, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's about 2 weeks old, actually 3 weeks old, because I'm on Twitter a lot in the crypto world. Yeah. Everything moves via Twitter. So every late breaking news comes via Twitter. You got to decipher through all the bullshit when it comes to Twitter, but
that's a fact.
But it is kind of, I have it narrowed down to the only thing I see is crypto, so I like that. It's just my place to go for crypto. There's no really, even though there's probably politics there, I don't see that. The only thing I really see is crypto.
Yeah, I've been getting back into Twitter a little bit after I bashed it. I made it come back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but mine's all music, artists, and that's about it. Music artists and baseball.
Sorry, Elon, but it's not as good as it used to be because
not at all.
When anything used to be happening, like the other night, we're sitting on the patio and there is like sirens going off like crazy. I mean, like 20 right after another. I'm like, something major is going down out on Interstate 80.
Oh.
And I used to be able to go to Twitter and say, hey, police scanner Des Moines, Interstate 80, and all of a sudden, boom, I'd know about it. Yeah. No, nothing there. I mean, evidently they're not, the emergency stuff isn't there anymore.
So maybe my comment does stand, and I should really hold to it.
Yeah,
Twitter's just not, it's not the same. It's a different platform than what it used to be.
Oh.
But, yeah.
Back when anything that you posted was wrong.
That's still true.
Oh, boy.
But we're not talking about Twitter today.
No, we're not talking about Twitter. What are we talking about?
We are talking about kind of your mindset, the thinking like a customer.
Thinking like a customer. Yeah.
In the powwow we discussed last week, where we got to sit down and brainstorm some episodes. This one came up because Darren is working on a new catering box. And I was really fascinated by how he even came up with it, because I don't think people really function like that or are wired the way that you're wired fully. And the more we talked about it, the more I realized there's a whole episode right there.
Yeah.
And just why you do that kind of stuff.
Well, why? because, first of all, without customers, we don't exist.
That's true.
Right? If nobody listens to our podcast, nope, that's a bad example. Because we could sit there and talk on a podcast and nobody could listen to it, and we would probably
keep doing
still do a podcast, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
But without, our food business, if you don't have customers, you don't have anything. You don't have a business when it comes to the food business, when it comes to any business, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So if the customer is required to survive, then we probably should get inside their head, just like we tried to get inside your head last episode. And trying to figure out what makes you tick. And quick from a customer thing, side note. So last week, you know how we're talking about your generation. What do you call yourself? The Gen Zs or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gen Zs. And I still don't know what I'm in, but that's okay. But
are you? Wouldn't you be a baby boomer?
I don't know.
I think you're a baby boomer.
I've never really paid attention to putting myself into a
Gen
class,
X.
right? Yeah. So anyway, I'm at the little cafe, the breakfast joint, on Tuesday. And it's the only time that the TV is on. So once again, I don't turn the TV on at home. I hate the TV. Well, where I sit in our corner table, I can look off in the distance and they're playing on the TV, right? Mm-hmm. They've got the TV on, the news on. Man, I don't even know what they're doing. I hardly ever watch it. Mm-hmm. But I looked up. No, I wouldn't even look at that. I was talking to a customer. I was done eating breakfast, getting ready to leave. Saw a customer saw somebody I knew. Went to the little bar they were sitting at, and we started talking. And I looked up, and here's this flash about this union contract. And I'm not sure if it was General Motors, Ford, or whatever, some auto union contract, right? Mm-hmm. Coming up, and they were threatening to strike. They were looking for a 48% pay increase, but the most important thing was they wanted to work 32 hours a week and get paid for 40. And I about fell off my chair.
Because you said that.
I know. Well, I said 30.
So do you think they...
But as far as that contract, it's just crazy. So it was like, whoa. I thought that was just like my idea, but evidently not.
No.
Either
I didn't think it was just your idea.
It's not just my idea, but it's the way I think it's true.
Yeah. Well.
Right?
Apparently it is.
I think we could fix it in payroll. I could just show you working 30 hours and pay you the same, even though you got to work 40. I'm going to show you working 30 hours on your paycheck so it'll look like you work 30 hours. And I'll show it. It's just payroll.
I think it's a little tricky with us considering we, even salaried employees, clock in and out.
You don't.
So I would know.
You don't even look at your paycheck anyway.
That's not true. I do.
You look at your paycheck. You actually look at your paycheck stuff
every week.
So you're one of very few that do, because we've talked about, because in our business, we have tips and we have incentive bonuses and whatever. And when you add this all together, somebody that maybe makes $14 an hour doesn't make $14 an hour. They make 20 or $22 an hour. Mm-hmm. But they don't know that they make $22 an hour. And when you're comparing to McDonald's, they're like, well, I only make 14 here. I can make 15 at McDonald's. Well, no, you make $22 an hour. Well, tips don't count. Do you get tips at McDonald's? No. So
why wouldn't
so
tips count?
Well, because nobody wants to count them. They think it's what the company pays you. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll keep all the tips and I'll pay you $18 an hour. Would you like that? Well, no.
No.
So that's what I'm constantly. That's probably a whole nother podcast. Not just trying to get into yours, but trying to get into employees. Write that down. We gotta get into employees' minds.
Okay, employees' minds. Customers first, employees second. Got it.
Right. Yeah, we're going to talk about the customer first.
Mm-hmm.
So, customers, most important part of the business.
Mm-hmm.
I see it many times. You can have the best food in the world, but
Some
if you
would
don't
say
have a
we do.
customer, if you don't have a customer, it doesn't matter.
Big facts.
I see businesses struggle all the time, and it's just, I think it's their value proposition, I'll call it. What does a restaurant or any other business have to offer their customer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what's a customer looking at when they come in the door, right? They're looking at, first, is the place clean?
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at the prices. They're not looking whether the food is good. They've probably heard that's why they're there. Very few people, they've either read a review, they've looked on Yelp, they looked on Google, they've done whatever of somebody that's commented positively about us.
Right.
But they're gonna experience this restaurant. So first, is it an easy place to navigate, or a little different there, or an order at the counter joint for a reason, which we've talked about many times.
Yeah.
But that all plays into the customer. And so when I look at people that are failing, a lot of times their value proposition is off, right? They're, for instance, bathrooms. People, it's crazy how many people rate a place by the cleanliness of their bathrooms.
Right.
I think there's a rating site out on Facebook about the bathrooms.
Honestly, I might be one of those people that thinks that matters a little bit.
Oh, I'm not saying it doesn't matter at all.
It's
just being cognizant of. Funny story. There's a gal on TikTok that goes to all these really fancy places to take a dump, and then records in the bathroom what she sees and what the toilet paper was. It's this whole TikTok channel.
Honestly,
and it's almost like
genius.
If it scrolls past, you have to watch it.
Right. You have to.
It's just, but she's like in Macy's in New York City, and she's in some fancy, I don't know, it's just crazy.
Honestly. That would be, yeah.
That's all you got to say about that?
If I got paid to do that, I'd do that.
You think 100%. She's getting paid to do that? You think she's getting paid to do that?
Well, if she has a big following, yeah. You get paid to do that. She's posting on the regular.
So you're saying we can get paid for this stuff?
Yeah, we have to monetize ourselves a little bit. But we can
how
get
do you
paid.
do that? Oh, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
You don't know how to monetize this?
I've been reading a little bit more into it. Yeah, there's steps. We could be making money off this podcast.
Really? But we'd have to have sponsors.
Not necessarily.
No?
Not fully, no. I don't think so.
I mean, we start making money, I might even share this thing on my Facebook page.
Thanks. I do all this hard work, and you don't even...
I always forget.
That's fine.
I always forget.
That's fine. But yeah.
So anyway, the customer. Expectations of the customers.
Yeah.
And I think customers, they want to do business with companies that are easy to do business with.
Yeah.
Right? And I think sometimes we're really easy to do business with, and sometimes we're a little difficult to do business with. And that's kind of where my focus is right now, is where are we not easy to do business with? And how do we make it easy? I think about Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A went through their drive-through, I don't know, Thursday night, Friday night, I don't know, Sherry's Choice. We're out doing something, and it's like 6:30 at night, and I'm like, yeah, too late to start a home project cooking. which is my preferred method of eating. Where do you want to go? And we kind of got it down to Tasty Tacos and Chick-fil-A. And I'm like, it's all yours. She goes, let's do Chick-fil-A. I said, okay. So, of course, we pull into Chick-fil-A, line around the building.
Yeah.
Double, just like always.
Mm-hmm.
And I sit there and I just study this thing. And I'm like, why? But then I found out why. Even though the line was long, the line wasn't moving. Somebody greeted me like way far ahead. So they had 2 people out on tablets.
Yeah.
Nobody asked for a menu.
Mm-hmm.
Because they knew the menu. Even though they had a menu, they could have showed me, but I didn't want to take a menu I didn't want to slow down the line. So I had this pressure to go, just give me a spicy chicken sandwich, right?
Yeah.
And then you pull up through the drive-thru, and so there's 2 people. And then you get a guy that kind of confirms that next order going, hey, did you order this? Yep. You want your receipt?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're paying via cash, you got to pay to that guy.
Yeah.
And so it kind of puts everybody, it takes the double line, puts it into one, and then you go through and they hand you your chicken sandwich and everybody's just as happy could be.
Yeah.
And I left there with, of course, I waited 15 minutes in line.
It's a long time for you.
It's a long time for me. And I was like, what am I? But once you're committed there, man. They get you in line. Yeah. It's not like you can just pull out of line.
No.
Right? Their design is perfect
like that.
Because once you're into it, you're into it. So I'm into it and we're just shooting the shit. And there's some drunk kids next to us and they're trying to crank up their music. I gave them the stink eye and they kind of whatever.
Okay, old man.
But anyway, it's a super great food experience. Now, food. I say food experience. The food was really good too. Sherry said it was the best Chick-fil-A sandwich she's ever had.
Oh, okay. She said Chick-fil-A.
She said it wasn't half the sandwich that the ordinary chicken is. But it was the best one of Chick-fil-A she'd ever have. So I'm studying this sandwich going, hey, how much, what's this thing weigh? Find out. And the guys are taking, funny, the guys are taking out this is the way I think. The guys are thinking, they're taking out boxes to the dumpster. Mm-hmm. And I was going to throw it in park and run over and say, hey, let me see one of them chicken boxes. I want to see what size you're buying here. But really all you had to do was Google. I did. Yeah. I didn't throw it in park, but I did Google it. They serve a 3.5-ounce chicken breast. $5. $5, $5.25 for a spicy chicken sandwich. $5 for a regular. And I think $5. Wow. Ordinary chicken, we're serving a 6-ounce sandwich, which is a 6-ounce breast. So twice the size, just a little under twice the size.
Yeah.
With an upgraded fry for $9. And so it makes me think that, do I need to split the chicken sandwich out? Or do I need to get a different size of chicken sandwich? Right? Do I need to get a smaller one? Because ours is huge. You eat our sandwich, you're going to need a nap.
Yeah, ours is definitely food coma central.
But do we make the sandwiches smaller and charge less? Or do we offer 2 sizes?
Is that something that you could test in a sense by doing temporarily? Or do you just have to try one and just do a fingers crossed kind of situation? Does that make sense?
I think we can get about the same size sandwich. I'm not sure I can get 3.5 ounce because I'm sure the market's already taken. I know I can get a 4 ounce. I talked about getting a 3 ounce chicken sandwich and making every single sandwich that we have. We make our own focaccia bread. We can cut it smaller. We serve it on a smaller bun. We can serve it on a smaller biscuit. So we can do a lot of things with a smaller sandwich that would probably, the lunch crowd is our biggest opportunity, and Sherry's, because they're easy to do business with. And so Sherry was, she was on me. She thinks that we should put a front counter at the Ornery Chicken, where people can
She
come
does?
in and order. Yeah, she does big time. She wants me to put a counter
Well,
there
I don't think
where.
it's. Yeah, I think we'd gain more business. I just watched 2 customers today try to come sit down, and when
Now
they
they're
saw
not
that
going to
it
be
was
able to sit down because we don't have a place for them to sit down.
It's the greeting them, kind of explaining more, being like, you can still order right here. You just can't eat it here. Instead of us not having that guidance. Like, we have the A-frame, we have all the signage, but it's still like the lack of human interaction where people are like, what the heck? Like, is this place even real?
You think that's what's missing? It's probably not missing from the Gen Zers. We're probably not missing it from the Gen Z because everything you do is online.
I actually do think it's. I do see a lot of the college kids drive up during the day and then leave when they're like, oh, I can't just order right here. And I think it's when we say, hey, you have to order online. And then they're like, oh, I don't want to wait that long. Because to them, I feel like when you say, hey, you have to order it on this website and it'll be about 15 minutes, they think, oh, that's a long time. Instead of seeing it in like, it's actually the same amount of time if you walked in and ordered it. Like, they just don't comprehend that. And I don't know how we get that message across. But I do think it could be beneficial.
And I think it would be beneficial. The problem is, if we're still hand breading all those chicken sandwiches to order, then and maybe we can utilize some of the warming equipment and which would take our quality down maybe 10%. But maybe we're better off to take the quality down 10% to gain the advantage of all we got to do is build that sandwich, and let's
right,
get a customized sandwich. How do you?
Or could you restructure it just a little bit so that the quality still maintains? It's just.
Yeah, but I'm a strong believer that people aren't going to walk. You don't want somebody walking in the door to place an order and having to sit there for 15 minutes.
Right, you don't want that, but that is how it is in most places. And I think we've had this discussion. Yeah, I think we've had this discussion before a little bit. But like, I could do that at McDonald's. If they're just busy enough, like if we were busy, I walk into McDonald's and I order either on their kiosk or at the window, I'm still standing there for 10 to 15 minutes.
Really?
I just don't realize. Yeah. I just don't realize.
You just don't realize that maybe we're going to have to put TVs with, put TVs on.
You don't even have to put TVs. They got these things called their cell phones. That's 5 TikToks, maybe 6, and then boom. Okay, maybe a little bit more if they're 1 minute, but you know what I mean. Like, it's only a couple of TikToks, and then I'm out of there. It's a couple of finger scrolls on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I could watch 15 Instagram stories, and then you'd be like, hey, food's done. Okay, cool. I really don't think... I think when you really sit down and like test it out, it's not as long as people think it is. 15 minutes sounds a lot longer than it is in reality.
Okay. Yeah, I see it from the staffing side. I mean, and I understand that. And maybe that's something we have to... Sherry's all over me. I'm like, wouldn't it be easier just to find a different location with a drive-through?
Would it be? I doubt it.
Right. And
maybe
I mean, we could do I suppose we got that middle room. We could do a hidden dining room. Health department can't find out about it. Right. Here, you want to eat? Eat in the back room. Here, eat in this office. Nobody will know. Right? Knock 3 times.
We're not doing that.
Right?
Yeah, like a weird speakeasy.
But overall, customers want to do, and that's a good example of ours. Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Super convenient. Right? Oh, everybody uses it. Super convenient. And
their next day delivering is game changer.
Oh, well, I get a lot of times same day because I'm like right next to the
that's because you're neighbors with the Amazon. Yeah. It's because it's your neighbor. You can just walk over there and say, hey, I have an order for Darren Worth.
Why don't they do customer pickup?
Why
don't they do that?
They do.
They do?
Yeah, you can. There's certain pickup locations that you can order.
There's pickup locations, but I just want to go to the warehouse that's fresh and pick it up in an hour because their
I think
pickup
the Grimes
location.
one actually might have
They
one.
they actually have to deliver it to the pickup location. No, I just throw it on the conveyor and throw it out here, and I want to come up and I want my shit now.
What? Okay. I mean, it's not a bad idea. Jeff Bezos, if you're listening to this, we have your next business plan. Amazon pickup.
So really it is about convenience. It's about customers want to do it. And fast food, I always said that about fast food. Mm-hmm. Why is fast food? Because most of it's just junk, right? Why is it junk? Or, why do we go in, like David walked in yesterday morning with a come and go breakfast burrito, right?
Those are good.
Well, they're good, but he walks in, he goes, this burrito's cold. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, it's cold. So he pops it in the fucking microwave and he goes to eat it. And I said, hey, that was cold. Okay. And this was 6 o'clock in the morning, it was 6:15 in the morning. And so I said, hey, I took the wrapper out of the trash and it said, this was created at 5:55 a.m. So at 5:55 a.m., he picked this up, right? And
maybe not picked it up.
Okay, but he walked in the door. But he walked in the door at 6:10. It was made at 5:55, so that means he bought it at 6:05.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
10 minutes. Yeah. Stone cold on the inside.
That's
stone cold.
Crazy.
And the first thing to me says, "Well, wait a second. Where's the health department when it comes to this? There's no way that was, in order to serve that, it would have had to have been heated to 165 degrees and then held for 140.
Yeah.
Never the case with any fast food stuff. I mean, never the case with any convenience store stuff. Sorry, not fast food. But fast food used to be super consistent. Why'd you go to McDonald's? Because it was the same every time and your order was exactly what you ordered. Mm-hmm. The order is never right.
Right.
Ever. Right. So they've kind of lost that. But the ornery chicken, should we have a warming cabinet and just throw out chicken sandwiches and restock them so they're not there over an hour and just grab and go chicken sandwiches? Hey, they can just grab and go.
Would that be wasteful?
Well, if we didn't waste it, if we were replenishing them fresh.
Right. But I'm saying, what if the ones that sat there for an hour, what would we do with those?
Well, they're really good in the convenience store world. They're good for 2 hours.
So would you just refry it?
It could be wasteful.
Like that's what
Oh no. It could be wasteful. You'd have to throw it away, or what a lot of what they do is they cool them down and donate them to the food pantry.
Okay. Which isn't wasteful, but we're not making a profit.
Right. So it's an inventory issue, but is that the market? Is the market, hey, the quick, hey, I just want to grab it, forget about the sides, just grab me a sandwich and go?
I mean, probably a little bit.
Or is it, hey, you want to order a custom sandwich? Hey, it might take you 10 minutes, but this one's ready right now if you need it. You're in a hurry? Right here, boom, hot case done.
Like Little Caesars? Hot and ready.
You very easily could just have a plain chicken sandwich there, plain chicken sandwich with some different sauces on the side. And hey, you want the plain chicken sandwich? Here it is. Boom. You want a custom made fried fresh to order? Going to be 10 minutes. I don't know. Something we got to keep thinking about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is interesting.
But consistency. So price. Okay. Mm-hmm. And price is one of those value proposition areas that drives me crazy because I'm a strong believer in, I'm not the lowest cost provider, but I'm on the bottom side of the average when it comes to that. And, we always say make it up in volume, and we're blessed to have volume. We're blessed to have a great location that gives us lots of volume. We were, very lucky to be on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives and stuff that gave us a huge amount of volume, but it's still, do you want to sell 10 sandwiches at $15, or do you want to sell 15 sandwiches at $10? I mean, it really, how do you want to turn and burn? And where's that value to the customer? And I think so many people overshoot the price thing. you know, and I know how to food cost, and we've done food costing, and I look at it and I'm like, you know, I went to this new breakfast joint up the street on Monday.
Which one?
The Early Bird.
Oh, okay.
Went to the Early Bird.
Was it good?
It was okay. Ambiance, amazing.
Okay.
I'm a corned beef hash snob. So I ordered the corned beef hash. Not executed very well.
Okay.
Thin slices of corned beef cut into strips. So like deli corned beef, like almost Carl Buddig corned beef cut into strips. Laid over the top of hash browns. Not mixed in, just laid over the top. Garnished with raw peppers and onions.
Oh.
Covered with hollandaise sauce.
Ooh.
Which sounded interesting to me, but then ordered eggs over easy. They came out sunny side up. Actually, my yolk went off to the side of the plate. The whites are still sitting there all watery and runny, and the yolk fell off.
Yikes.
But so I'm eating this, and I'm like, it's fine, but I had to eat it like soup. When I got done, I still had a bowl. I still had a bowl of soup, and I'm like, come on, just it's hash. What's hash mean? You take potatoes and you take meat and you take vegetables and you mix them together and you put them on a flat top and you fry them. Right? They did have a really kick-ass. They called it like a breakfast tart, whatever, and it came across on the menu like a Pop-Tart, but what it was they'd taken this like a little 7x7 pan and put phyllo dough in it, and they had like buttered it and phyllo dough and buttered it, and then they put some like blackberry jam in the middle, and then they did more phyllo dough over the top, and then they baked it, and so it was brown and flaky layers, and then they cut it on an angle, and then they covered it with more blackberry jam and some sort of drizzle on the top, and it was super good.
Sounds delicious.
But by the time, you know, they're known for a brunch place, so every day I go up the street for breakfast, and I get 2 sausage, 2 eggs, English muffin, $10.34 with a coffee.
Right.
$46 for Sherry.
Holy shit!
Now, take it. The breakfast tart was an extra $10, so, you know, I'm going to take it away and say $36. And she had chicken and a biscuit with sausage gravy onto the side of it with hash browns and stuff. So it looked really cool. And it was okay. Yeah. Sherry said everything was a little herby for us, and that's what you find with bougie places. She's not much into the herb flavor. She doesn't like all the that stuff. But anyway, will I go back? Probably not. Unless I was I'm not even sure I'm going back trying to impress somebody. I mean, the ambiance was cool as shit. Just little stuff on that. I mean, really cool ambiance. The service was amazing. That's probably the reason I would go back. The service was amazing.
Which I think is key.
Which is key. But the quality of food there kind of, the price was kind of way on the top side from a breakfast standpoint. The quality of food for what and the price, I mean, they have to be making bank because, I mean, you take simple stuff like they did, and I'm like, you didn't have $2 in that dish that you just charged me $18 for.
No.
Especially with I mean, it was a bigger portion, but it wasn't, it was a bigger portion. It looked like on the plate, but it wasn't, I don't know, it was soup by the time I got done. So I wasn't, part of that was not being consistent. You know, if I wanted over easy eggs, give me over easy eggs. And I'm not one. I'll be the last guy to send something back. I'll just eat it because I eat eggs, whatever. You want me to eat them raw? I'll eat them raw. Doesn't matter.
Don't eat them raw.
Don't eat them raw. But, you know, it's the quality. It's the consistency, but it's the price. Don't price yourself out of the market. Right. Yeah. And so many people want to do that. They're like, well, I think I can get away with $20 a plate.
Do you think places like that do that because they're trying to like have like a high end kind of feel?
It might be.
You know?
They might be trying to keep the riprap out.
Yeah. Just trying to be like, Yeah, for a specific kind of, I guess, occasion or something. You know what I mean?
But it wasn't. But it wasn't that. The dining experience wasn't.
Yeah.
White linen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I feel like that's a thing that like modern day coffee shops and stuff, like some of them look really bougie and they'll overprice the crap out of their coffees because it's a part of the experience and the ambiance and like we are quote unquote high end when in reality it's one of the worst cups of coffee I've ever had. I just paid, $9 for
their coffee was good. I have no idea how much it cost.
Good.
It was part of my $46 bill.
That's
whatever.
nice.
But I mean, the coffee, the coffee was good quality coffee.
But I'm just saying, like, do you think that some of the pricing, like the people that do the whole higher end, do it to like add to the experience, to like make it feel like it's more of a, I don't know if my thought isn't coming across right. I don't think, but like,
to make I understand. It more perceived high end, perceived high end,
like fancy and like add to the experience. Like, oh, I went to this really fancy place and had this really nice cup of coffee, when in reality, I just went to a coffee shop and had a cup of coffee.
You think that's our problem with OC? Do you think we're not? People say, "Oh, that's too cheap. That's got to be a crappy chicken sandwich." Maybe I should raise the price $3.
No. I don't know. I'm just asking. Do you think?
I don't know.
It's just something. Because I went to Oh shoot, I can't even pronounce it. It's on the corner of Locust and 10th. It's some.
If I can't pronounce it, I'm not going.
I can't even think of how to pronounce it or even how to spell it now, but it's a nicer restaurant, Ambiance was like dim lights, linens. I was very underdressed, did not realize it was that fancy, and I spent $25 on a grilled chicken breast, and that felt ridiculous. But
really?
Yeah. $25 for a dried chicken breast and broccolini, because I'm on a diet, so. And my bill, and then say that, but then I split a chocolate torte, which was delicious, with one of my friends. But anyway, I spent $40 and I didn't get it. I had water, I got a chicken breast, and I split a dessert. And I was like, I don't know if this was worth it. Now my mom, she loves that place. I can't think of what it's called. Well, I can. I just don't know how to pronounce it, and I don't want to butcher it. But I feel like I paid for like the experience and not necessarily for the food.
What? Now you got me on 10th and Locust. You're not talking about Centro.
Yeah, I am. I am talking about Centro.
I'm going to send a message to George Famaro saying your chicken breast is dry and overpriced.
Sorry, don't do that. I didn't know you knew him. I wouldn't have said anything.
No, but it's been there. But it's been there forever and ever and ever, right?
Right. And my mom loves that place, and she's like, I don't feel bad that you paid that much. I love that place. She's like, it's all part of the experience. And I was like, but it was a chicken breast for $25.
Right. When there was, let's see, I could look up where a chicken breast probably cost $1.25.
Yeah.
Your broccolini was a little expensive. It probably was more than the chicken breast, but so there's probably $4, $5 all in on that. So I'm pricing that as a big meal like that, big serving. Yeah. I'm not even close to $15.
Okay.
You order that catered in your home from us, it's probably $12.95.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was sitting there, and it was one of the first times that I was like, wow, this is extremely overpriced.
Well, that's usually what happens with fancy places to me.
I know. And I was surprised. I started to develop a Darren brain, and I was like, this is not that expensive. This should not cost this much at all. Because if you think about it. But Yeah, and I was like, and I had probably the most basic meal. And I didn't get like a cocktail like all my other friends. I was like, good God, your guys' bills are probably outrageous.
Yeah.
You guys want to go drinking after this? My God. What do you
Go
guys
down to the
do
High
for a
Life and
living?
get $3 crappy beers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. We went to Tipsy Crow, had like $4 cocktails. But soon to not be a place. But yeah.
Yeah, because the owner's
It was,
in
yeah,
jail.
so I was just, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it was just one of those things.
It's just quality if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
And how would you have thought if that chicken breast was the best chicken breast you ever eaten?
I don't know. Because I hate to toot on, I've had some of the best chicken breasts I've ever had just right next door I get a discount, but not very much money. So I'm like, and I don't know if I was paying for the experience or like the whole, And so that's why sometimes,
right?
To me, I don't know if it was quite that much because I was cold, but
makes me think: should we have black?
I just was curious.
Should we have black waiter service at the Ornery Chicken? If you pull up and honk, somebody will come running to place your order. Car side.
Kind of like the Chick-fil-A thing.
Yeah. I'll come place your order curbside. I'll deliver it to your car, so you don't have to pick up your phone and push the same buttons that I'm pushing on my tablet.
Right.
What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like I got us way off topic with that. I apologize.
No, you don't, because it's all about quality of food. We talk about price.
I feel like that plays a part in the whole customer experience and like thinking like a customer. There's no way you're thinking like this is affordable and perfect for the customer. I was just like, this is crazy.
Right. And that's one of those things that you probably don't.
I want to know how you think this is. Like, is it because of the experience? Is it because of the ambiance and just?
I'm guessing if I'm George Famaro, I'm thinking first, why didn't my cook execute the chicken breast? But if I'm, because he's a really great cook. He has a really good restaurant empire, I'll call it. He's just done amazing things.
I didn't mean.
It's a bad day. It's a bad day.
Yeah,
whatever.
I think that's all it was.
But I think people.
Sauce was amazing.
99% of the people aren't going to come to Centro, which is an Italian place, and they're going to get pasta. They're going to get hand tossed pizza or whatever. Aren't going to order a chicken breast and whatever. And I found that when I was trying to eat healthy on the road, and it's impossible because it's twice as expensive to eat healthy than it is just to eat shit.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the other part of this whole value proposition to the customer, So we talked about, we got prices and we got the quality of the food. Okay. So to me, don't overprice and make sure your quality is very consistent. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing in the world. It's just got to be consistent every single time. Are you going to go back to Centro and order a chicken breast? No.
No, right? Because hopefully I won't be on a diet next time and I can enjoy real food.
Right. But the service, I'm assuming, was great enough that you would go back because of the service. Right?
Yeah.
So you can make mistakes there, but the other thing that is a constant challenge with us is feeding so many different age groups. And I know we talk a lot about age, right?
Yeah. We did a whole episode about it.
Yeah, but you got, you got our comfort food. Well, right. So like our comfort food menu. So those that know or don't know, we serve like a lasagna on Monday. We serve on Wednesday. We do a hot roast beef, mashed potatoes and gravy, corn, ham balls on Sunday. There are huge portions. Huge portions of food, enough for two. But the old people line up when we open to get that, right?
Yeah.
The older generation they love that comfort food because our serving is big. Our margins aren't the greatest on it, but our servings are big, but it attracts them in. And so you got that age group. Okay. And then you've got the kids you got to deal with. Okay. That just doesn't want a chicken nugget. So you either got to give them a kid rib or a mini barbecue sandwich or chicken fingers or whatever, something. And then you have this, I call it the young guys. They want, it's not guys necessarily. Mm-hmm. They want that super unhealthy meal, right? They want the barbecue mac and cheese on top of barbecue with everything, or our farm boy, which is, 2 slices of white bread with a tenderloin with 5 pounds of French fries and gravy and just blah. There's no way you're finishing it, but
hurts my stomach just thinking about it.
I want to eat like crap.
So much food,
right?
Yeah.
Never even had one myself. I
haven't either. Just looking at them when I'd take them when I used to be a food runner, just looking at them was enough for me. Just smelling it, but then that's a lot.
So we're trying to balance that versus, hey, now we've really tried to put a push on salads because we got mom that wants to eat healthy.
Well, and a lot of those, a lot of the young guys, the unhealthy young guys, are with the health nut women that are or moms,
right?
Girlfriends, whatever. Just
exactly. So we have these.
We care.
Perceived healthy salads, right? A chef salad that weighs 4 pounds with this, or a chicken
and our dressings
tender.
Are just
dressings are all made from scratch, made from heavy duty mayonnaise, and
I don't eat our salads.
Just not good, But then we've got that adventurous Gen Zer, I call that they want the spicy food.
Yeah.
They want I'll call it almost risque. They want the experimental food, right? They want something turned upside down. They want it to be wacky.
Yeah, something they haven't necessarily had somewhere else.
Right.
To an extent.
Sometimes I feel like we should be we have a friend down in Austin, Texas, has a barbecue restaurant. They used to take the La Tapatio ramen soup that you can buy at Walmart for $2 for a container.
Yeah.
And they would make that soup, but then they'd cut an egg, they'd put a slice of brisket in there, they'd put some bean sprout, whatever that you wouldn't in a normal pho or whatever. That would do that. So you're taking that type of thing. So it's like, okay, how do I keep that? And then you got you don't really have to worry about the vegans too much when you have barbecue in your name.
No.
Just because they're probably not going to come asking. Right now, we run into that a little bit with catering because you're catering to an office and somebody's vegan. So we're throwing out a black bean burger or something. We're not doing that normally. Yeah. We used to do that on our menu, but we just didn't sell a lot of them because I think the word barbecue in name kind of scares them away.
Yeah.
But then this whole
is okay.
Gluten-free thing, which is in this whole, what do you call that? The gluten-free allergen, whatever. I mean, it's just becoming more and more and more prevalent to a lot of these people. I'm like, why are you even eating out? If you are that allergic to something or telling me that you're that allergic to something, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that variety, I think, along with quality and price, having the variety. And it's not like you have to have this huge menu, right? You just got to think about everybody that you're serving. Now, if you're just going to be in a college town and serve college kids, then try and find the cheapest cut of chicken you're going to, because they want as cheap a meal as they possibly can. And maybe that's what we need. Maybe that's where we're missing at the Ordinary Chicken, even though, I mean, our meal for $9 or $10 is great value. But if they go up the street and get half or a third of the food for $5, maybe we should be serving them half the food for $5 or $6. If that's what they're after.
Right.
So that's I think that's the challenge of all of it. The other thing we haven't talked about is service. Right?
Yeah.
And service can solve a lot of issues, right? I call service, I wrote down a note here. I said, service is like a butter toasted bun.
I didn't read that the first time.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is one time I actually prepared because I've been up since 2 o'clock this morning. But service is like a butter toasted bun. You can put a dog turd on a butter toasted bun, and it's still gonna taste good.
I don't think you can.
Well, okay, you can put one step above a dog turd, but the fact of the matter is, if you want to serve something that you're not sure is great, butter toast the bun.
Yeah.
It just gives you this level of, it's not healthiness, but it gives you this level of, it just raises the flavor level of anything. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why we do it. That's why we've done it for years. That somebody once told me, goes, yeah, put a piece of dog shit on a butter toasted bun, tastes good. Oh, butter toasting buns, just in case we miss it on the meat, in case the brisket's too dry or whatever, put it on butter toasted bun. Okay. That's the takeaway. Services, and I think speed of service has become super important.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like with your,
that's our success, right? That's our, we talked about in the last podcast about the, being able to drive 5 minutes, wait in line for 5 minutes, get your food within 5 minutes, eat 10 minutes, and then drive back. And I think that just becomes more and more and more important. And that's kind of what we have to think about, even at the Ornery Chicken. I think, we're talking about, can we be faster? Can we be faster? And if we can be faster, how do we pump it out?
Yeah.
And that, because it's one of those things is you got to bring that all together, right? And so you kind of got to bring your A game.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're going to have an employee that's going to walk in and have a bad day. And if you don't perceive that right away, if they're having a bad day, you might as well just say, hey, why don't you go home or let's go behind the counter and you do something not seen by the customer. Because if they perceive to the customer that they're having a bad day, then you're going to make the customer having a bad day. And nobody wants to have a bad day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other, the final one that I think that, and there's probably 10 more, but it's just cleanliness, right? And so...
Which, we kind of talked about at the beginning.
Yeah, it's just, we talked about the bathrooms, whatever, and we were horrible in the front. Okay, not in the front, not from a cleanliness inside the restaurant, but outside the restaurant, it was just overgrown. It looked like shit. There was weeds, whatever, and we really went to great strengths to just tear all this bedding out that they require to have and just replace it and spend a lot of money trying to make it look good and look inviting in a clean place, so so if you're not getting customers, something's wrong in this value proposition. Okay. And just looking at it, thinking of it like a customer, they're going to pull in the parking lot. If it looks like crap or doesn't look inviting, probably not going to come in. And that's part of the problem, like the Ornery Chicken. It's not a very inviting place because we have signs on the door that says, do not open this door, right?
Yeah. Like, please don't come in. But also, please order from us.
And that's what I love about these podcasts, because you start looking at your own business.
Yeah, it's a good brainstorm.
And you start thinking, maybe we ought to make that front area nice and clean and painted great, and with a couple of seats for somebody to sit around. Maybe we get like 6 recliners in there. Make it comfortable.
I'll record the podcast from a recliner. Actually, I have one of the nicest chairs in the company. I probably don't need a recliner.
I don't have a chair, so I ain't got time to sit.
But is he sitting right now?
But just, to sum it up, think like the customer. Think from a price. Think from a quality of food. And quality food can be what you're serving or the batches you're making. We're on a big push right now. It used to be in the old days, we used to make food, and the shelf life of potato salad is good for 7 days. Why wouldn't you make a 7-day batch? Well, because it doesn't taste very good on the 7th day or the 6th day or the 5th day.
Right.
So we're trying to really lower our batches and speed it up where we're making those batches every single day. Right? Is it a little more work? Yes, but it shows in the quality and our dressings and all that stuff. And, we're one of those places that we make so much from scratch that nobody does anymore. That, we don't have all those preservatives and stuff that give it a 30-day shelf life. So we're, trying to keep it fresh. That's our number one thing we're working on. And looking at the customer and how do we make it better for them? And how do we, whether it's service, whether it's price, whether it's quality food, whether it's cleanliness, you just got to think like the customer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's a great point.
Okay.
Think like the customer.
Think like the customer. Okay. 55 minutes.
I was a little worried. I kind of threw us into that pretty early. Didn't have a lot of pre-banter. Wasn't sure how this was going to go. But I think we kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent there. But
we brought it back.
Yep.
We brought it back. So
I think it was good.
If you're having trouble with your business, go look at Amazon. Go look at Chick-fil-A.
Convenience, efficiency.
Go look at convenience. Look at the quality of the food. It's not the best chicken sandwich in the world, but it's good enough to serve. Right?
Right.
And sorry, George. Don't worry. It was just a bad day for a cook. And Emma's a food snob, so she's used to a deep fried chicken breast instead of a grilled one.
I don't even eat deep fried chicken anymore.
I think next time I see him, I'm gonna. Next time I won't. Next time I see him, I'll hand him he's a big Smokey D's fan, right? So So that makes me a big Centro and a big George fan. So
sorry, I did not know that. I would not have said anything. For those of you just listening and not watching, my whole face is red. I'm so embarrassed.
Next time I see him, I'm going to hand him a thermometer and
Don't
say,
do that.
Hey, George. No, I won't.
I'm not a food connoisseur. It's fine.
Yeah, well,
I still ate all of it.
Here's my plug. Go to Centro. Just don't order a damn chicken breast. You're at an Italian restaurant.
I'm on a diet.
I know you are.
It's unfortunate.
Looking good.
I mean, the sauce on it was amazing.
Until next time.
With a spoon. Yeah, until next time. Follow, subscribe. We kind of said that all at the beginning, but if you're still here, follow, subscribe at Cue the Mic Podcast on everything, I believe, or close to. Some things we might just be at Cue the Mic. I can't remember which ones are which.
That's good. That's good to be definitive. Maybe for next time, we're going to go ahead. Go to our link tree.
Yeah, that's a good. I do have one of those. Go to our link tree on Instagram.
Just remember Cue the Mic. QUETHEMIC. Cue the Mic. Google it. You'll get us there.
I don't know.
Don't go to Darren's Facebook page because he doesn't share it, but I might.
It's in. Actually, don't go to my Instagram. Yeah. Okay. Follow, subscribe, do all the things, leave comments, send content ideas. We have a couple kind of pre-planned, but we could always use more ideas. In our link tree, there is an episode suggestion button. Please hit that. Fill out that form. Let us know what you guys want to hear. And leave comments. We love reading them. Or respond to some.
Emma likes reading them.
Yeah, I do. Okay. Yeah. Anyway.
You're going to go over an hour if you don't shut up now.
Okay. Until next week. That was episode 21 of Cue the Mic. See you guys.
See ya.